I'm Jill Stannard. I'm an experienced health and happiness coach and naturopath, and I'm here for Health Q&A Monday to answer your health question. And today I've got Leah writing saying she's vegan and she's read that mushrooms are a great source of vitamin D. Is this true? Thank you for the question, Leah. And a lot of people are reading the latest news that there is a new technique to increase the vitamin D content of mushrooms. And we're reading this because the growers associations in the US and Australia helped fund a study that was published about 2 years ago in 2013. It was a well-designed study in the sense that it was using double-blinded, using placebos. It compared the new vitamin D2 enhanced mushroom product. This is basically, in nature, mushrooms have UV exposure, and that helps them create a type of vitamin D known as vitamin D2. Cultivated mushrooms grow in the dark and they have no UV exposure. So there's a new technique which exposes mushrooms to about 3 seconds of UV light at the time of harvest. So they use this new mushrooms versus a regular mushroom powder, as well as a vitamin D3 supplement in a capsule and a placebo capsule. Now, it's a smallish trial, a pilot-sized trial, but as I said, double-blinded and placebo-controlled, which is the gold standard in science. What the study showed was, yes, the new mushrooms did increase levels of vitamin D2 in the body. More importantly, it showed it didn't decrease levels of overall vitamin D in the body, because other studies have shown that vitamin D2 blocks or decreases absorption or utilization of vitamin D3. Of course, the vitamin D3 capsules increase the levels of vitamin D3, but not D2. And now we get into semantics. So what does this mean? Well, firstly, will these mushrooms block your levels of bioavailable levels of vitamin D? Depends on dose. This study used 15 micrograms. Other studies which have shown that it does block it use about 100 micrograms of B2. So it could be dose related. And how many mushrooms is that? Well, the study doesn't tell us. The question that it doesn't answer is vitamin D2 going to be protective against your chances of developing certain cancers, multiple sclerosis, psoriasis, a whole heap of conditions that are now being linked to a vitamin D insufficiency? And the study doesn't go there. So there's a lot of cherry picking going on around the study. And I've got to say, I think we need to be skeptical about industry funded studies and journalists and food bloggers and health bloggers who just read press releases instead of actually looking at the data. So I'm not convinced that this is going to be protective, and it is very, very tricky when you're vegan. So vitamin D supplements, vitamin D3 supplements, it's the best ones that we know are bioavailable, are derived from lanolin. So lanolin is in sheep's wool. Sheep aren't necessarily killed to produce this lanolin or to harvest the lanolin. However, you've got to look at your ethics. Are mushrooms a great food? Yes. Wild in particular, shiitake mushrooms, which may increase our immunity, and the other Asian mushrooms, fantastic. They're a great food. Will it stop you from being vitamin D deficient? Well, no. Your serum levels of vitamin D are not going to be raised from eating this food. I think we're going to read a lot more about vitamin D2 versus vitamin D3 in future, but at this point I'll say I don't believe there is enough evidence yet to suggest that this is going to be protective. If you do not want to take D3 supplements, then you need to increase your sun exposure. I don't know where you're writing from, so if you're in sunny Queensland, this means having some sunblock free exposure of your arms and legs for 20-30 minutes a day. If you're riding from the northern hemisphere, whether it's summer or winter, or from the eastern states in Australia, you might find that if you are working, going from cars or public transport to your offices and being rugged up, you aren't going to be getting any significant sunshine exposure in winter. We actually need arms and legs exposed to get enough. So you might have to look about, okay, can you strip off at home on the weekends and get in and shiver in the sunlight and get enough? It's that, or take a supplement. That's a great question, Leah. I hope I've helped you make some sense of the research that's out there at the moment. And if you have a question, please send it to coaching@jillstannard.com.au. You can tweet me at HerbalJill or check out the website. I've got lots of resources, recipes, articles, jillstannard.com.au. See you soon, and don't forget to send me your question.